In the 1970s, psychologist Henry Tafel conducted a fascinating experiment. He divided people into groups based on completely meaningless differences, such as which painting they preferred or how they estimated the number of dots on a screen. The participants knew these groups were random. They had no history together and no real reason to care. Yet something surprising happened. Almost immediately, people began favoring members of their own group while treating the other group less favorably. This became known as the minimal group paradigm, and it revealed something unsettling about human nature. You don't need conflict to create division. You don't need betrayal, competition, or even a reason. All you need is a line, separating us from them. Once that line exists, the mind often does the rest on its own. That's why people can become rivals over something as trivial as a sports team, a workplace department, or a social circle. Sometimes, an enemy is created not because of what someone did, but simply because they belong to a different group. Every person carries two sides within them. One side is capable of love, kindness, empathy, and compassion. The other is capable of jealousy, envy, resentment, and hatred. Both are part of being human. The way we create enemies is surprisingly simple. Our actions shape how other people feel. Every word, success, and decision can trigger either the good or the bad emotions already living inside someone. In one person, it may spark admiration. In another, it may fuel jealousy or resentment. Imagine you finally buy your dream car after years of hard work. You share the news with everyone around you. But while your success brings you joy, it may awaken very different emotions in others. Some will be happy for you. Others may feel envy or resentment. What feels like a celebration to you can feel like a painful comparison to someone else. And without intending to, you may have just planted the seeds of an enemy. How is that possible? You might be wondering how a moment of happiness can end up creating hatred or envy in someone else. The answer is simple. Emotions are like seeds planted in a garden. Every person carries a garden inside their mind. Over the years, experiences, belief, failures, and successes plant different kinds of seeds there. Some grow into gratitude, confidence, and kindness. Others grow into insecurity, resentment, and jealousy. When you share your happiness, it's like dropping a new seed into that garden. But the seed doesn't grow on its own. It grows according to the soil it lands in. If someone has cultivated a healthy garden, your success may bloom into inspiration. They see what's possible and become motivated to improve their own lives. But if their garden is already overrun with weeds of bitterness and insecurity, your success can have the opposite effect. Instead of inspiring them, it feeds the weeds that are already living there. The jealousy grows taller. The resentment spreads deeper. The bitterness becomes harder to remove. The same seed was planted. The difference was the soil it landed in. Most people have heard of the halo effect, when one good quality makes us assume a person has many other good qualities. If someone is attractive, we often assume they are intelligent. But there is a darker version of this bias known as the horn effect. It happens when a single negative impression causes us to see someone in a negative light. Maybe they interrupted you once, disagree with you in a meeting, or simply gave you a bad feeling for reasons you can explain. Suddenly, your mind begins building a story around them. One mistake becomes proof they are unreliable. One disagreement becomes evidence they are against you. One awkward interaction becomes a reason to distrust them. What's dangerous is that the brain does this most easily when the situation is unclear. Rather than accepting uncertainty, it fills in the blanks on its own, often with negative assumptions. And once that story takes hold, every future interaction gets filtered through it, making the person seem more suspicious or unlikable than they may actually be. Back when humans lived in small tribes, life was built on limited resources, food, status, and opportunity, and competition was often zero-sum. If someone else gained, you lost. But the real competition wasn't with strangers far away. It was with the people standing right next to you, doing the same job, fighting for the same slice of survival. That old reality never left us. This is why comparison cuts deepest when it's personal. Someone far away doing better than you doesn't feel emotionally relevant to you. But someone beside you, getting the recognition you wanted, can feel threatening in a different way. Everyone you deal with is already carrying their own mix of feelings, insecurities, and expectations. Your actions don't land on a blank mind. They land on something already boiling. That's why enemies are not just created. They develop when two emotional worlds collide without understanding each other. If you want to avoid turning people into enemies, you have to be selective about who you let close and aware of what your presence actually triggers in them, not just what you intend to give.